Heater early on, you risk getting gunned by someone else.
Yeah, that has been, I think, the big factor. And we've also seen just the other side. You could find kills and play it safely just by scouting out who's parachuting into the water. It's just using that as kind of a farming point. So we'll see what the players decide to do here, especially as they get their second, third, and then unfortunately fourth drops individually as our groups continue to move forward. So Zix in particular on screen at the moment. And again, this is a team that could really use some points here, not doing all that well at the
These are
moment.
pubs? Nah,
No,
this is LAN tournament. This is a rebirth tournament.
We've used that phrase a lot, I feel, already through the show, but this is two lads who are from Riyadh. They could walk to the arena, so they definitely want to be putting on a show, but it's not been their afternoon thus far. Very impressive in the World Series. They've improved every step of the way, but they're going to need to find a bit more about them today.
Absolutely the case, and just taking a look over it, Lukiness, Juki's early lives down. Wars as well also falling, as Guild Esports has been one of the major favorites, I think, for a lot of people who are looking at the EU space. Of course, I know you're obviously very biased. So between them and Alalula, that means sitting number 2 and number 3 at the moment in the overall team rankings. That's got to feel pretty good for the EU region.
Yeah, it feels great. I won't lie. At the minute, seeing the boys put on, they've been talking a lot on the timeline. You know, if we remove that ping factor, we can do big things. And well, they're showing that nice and early on day one. Obviously, we've got a long way to go. Yeah, StuKegs just going to give Jace a moment here to potentially.
You got to just kill. You can't.
His knock, and will Jace pull it on through? I don't think Jace is willing to just give this up to StuKegs.
Look at me, dude. I'm sticking myself. Hey, look, Josh, and he tries to finesse it, but not going to work out. So the strategy ends up working out.
He did get the kill.
Just one overall elimination to this point, and this is when we start to see everyone's starting to drop back in. We're going to get a lot of those water safety drops.
Yeah, we are indeed, and it's about who can start to play around that, as we saw Jace do earlier, maybe pick off a couple of easy kills. Meanwhile, Aiden has opted for Prison. A relatively uncontested space
Come on, Aiden.
Here. Maybe a case of people looking to play around the outside of the map, a bit more safety, and then collapse on in. But 3 kills already. It looks like Aiden may well have just laid siege to this.
You're good, Marcus. You're chilling.
And if that ends up being the case, where he can just dominate the middle of the map like this with his preferred loadout, yikes. Watch out. He very well may overtake his teammate for top overall kills to this point. Clean initially.
Oh my God, he got gunned. Aiden got gunned. God damn.
On World Star turn on, but boy, it was close.
I mean, that exactly there is one of those moments that we are seeing throughout this tournament, and how quickly your game can swing, right? We're talking about how good Aiden's looking, could well take kill leader off this back of this map, sorry, and then gets absolutely beamed by a player that he's probably not expecting to be challenging him.
Talk about things to be expected. On a scale of 1 to 10, how surprised are you that Breadman's sitting on top of a tower with a sniper rifle right now?
I'm going to go with about a -4.
He's just looking to farm people coming out of the sky and, of course, see who he can find on rotation. Circle is still very forgiving in terms of where we're currently standing, but 4 players already out. Make that now another, as we're going to see number 37 in Wars actually down. So one of the members from Guild already down and out. Not the greatest drop for Wars initially. And we go back to Breadman, who's doing his Breadman thing.
He is indeed.
That sniper is crazy.
Well, I was going to say he gets Brawlic, but actually at the exact same time, Dongy's shooting him from elsewhere. Dongy gets that kill in the end. But yeah, this is exactly what Breadman said he was going to do in the interview that I had with him yesterday. He's going to find this kind of position. He's even going to look to do this kind of thing when we talk trios as well, provide coverage over his teammates. So, I mean, maybe just getting an early feel, a bit of lay of the land as Lennon looks to find himself.
What is Lennon using, the MTZ?
This is what we saw Breadman doing last game, where you're just waiting to see if anyone's going to
I like the MTZ.
In the water. You also see the laser up top, so Lennon can be a little bit careful as it is Izund right over the top of him. Not a great start here for Zund and Co., but things could change very rapidly, as we've already seen. Zeppa down and out as well. So again, a lot of early full-on eliminations at this point. Still in the
There's so many people in the water. God damn.
It is indeed, and we're starting to see a couple of players get compressed together. That prison spot no longer as quiet as it once was. Zix and Tenix are going to try and fight over the same spot, but Zix actually loses space to Hoskers, and, well, Tenix actually looking to play in through the bottom, but has a couple of suppression mines to clear. Is likely going to suspect players above. Of course, we can see that we've just lost Zix up there, but he has absolutely no idea and currently trying to assess the situation. But it looks like
Chat, what time is it for you guys where you guys are at?
Who's taken the whole region?
It's 10:22 for me. I wonder if you guys are East Coast, West Coast, different countries.
Dropping in, everyone's starting to find a way to, in this mid-game portion, get themselves kitted out for the late status. Lennon just waiting at this moment. A couple of the players nearby, kind of, if he does have to rotate more central into the island. But largely speaking, he's going to be very safe. And with 7 kills already, I think this is the time where you got to evaluate, I've already hit my mark. Let me at least try to get to the top 15.
No, I agree completely.
1 o'clock.
Once you start to put on a certain
amount of East Coast times,
that might well be where you're considering to start
6:22, 7, 12, 22 Netherlands.
Play around the positional multipliers, and Patsuka here just looking to chase down Believe. Has him cornered. Isn't able to get some clean shots in. Actually takes quite a bit of damage on the way back, but just does enough to shut down Believe there, as it looks like he was going to make the outplay, but he has more company. Bullets in the back, and have to dive out the window, and likely going to be pressed here. Needs a moment to just breathe, and allows himself a second to reset.
Yeah, clean. And again, you can see it on the minimap, 3 players nearby, but all the elevation that comes with the building kind of deterring them from finding each other and actually taking the next gunfight. Also a player rotating in. So this is about to get a little bit messy. That's Hamoud who's on his way forward, and he's not going to have a lay of the land. So he's just diving on forward, trying to see if he can get good contact, but Patsuka perfectly prepared for it.
No, I'm still working on it.
And then trying to third party. Yep, that will play.
You're good. Thank you.
An opportunity to try to get a couple for Patsuka, but he's got to reset.
He is indeed, and we still have 32 players up. This feels like a little bit of a slower map than the ones that we've been watching throughout this tournament so far. Maybe Sides trying to adjust their strategies. A couple of players not getting off to the hot starts that they've wanted and looking to reassess how they play.
Chat, who you think is the best Rebirth solo player? Who you think's gonna win this? I mean, Smith's been balling, bro.
Give himself an opportunity here to patrol the edge of the circle.
I'm shocked Shifty's not teeing up a little bit more.
And this is all about, yeah, I was gonna say perfect time to take a look at who's actually rotated in early. Prison is still one of the main focus points as Breadman continues to find himself in the kill feed. That's got to be at least 5 for him to this point. So that's a good start in terms of how you get yourself going.
Yeah, Juki's did with one.
Squad wiped out, so that's another kind of key team to keep our eye on here as this circle starts to close on in, and eventually we're going to deal with no more respawn.
Vision is on 12.
Vision has 12.
We've been talking a lot about what Guild are potentially bringing to the table here. We saw that King AJ had himself a solid performance earlier. Vision as well has been looking really good throughout his, but 12 at this stage, 30 players still remaining in this, along with the resurgence timer, of course. Opportunity to potentially break 20. A lot to do yet, but looking real hot. Stuart, another European trying to pick out Liam, and well, he's going to have to chase after. Didn't do enough, and he's got company from elsewhere. Bullets catch him from the side.
Yeah, that's going to keep him at least staying on this rooftop while he's in pursuit. And this is an interesting rotation all the way over towards the backside of the freight ship.
I mean, Stuo has 10.
Elo's right below him, but this is all about him again. I think just playing for position. You're at 10 kills already. You got to be feeling really solid about your opportunity to actually score some points, where others are dropping in just looking for safety and just trying to keep their lives.
You're not wrong. Speaking of safety, Brolic here trying to use the top of the water tower to protect himself. Has Breadman underneath him. I'm not exactly sure how Breadman's not recognized that Brolic's above him, and likely will at some point. The silencer on that sniper potentially just keeping him covered momentarily. Carnat in hand. We'll hear Brolic above, because Brolic's actually just cleaned out Hisoka, and the Team Falcons continue to struggle here, Shift.
It's really just been Shifty, the only one who's been able to put together really any notable kills to this point, let alone placements. So top 30 only gets you a 1.2 times multiplier. The next checkpoint we're looking for is to see who can crack to the top 15 as we head over to
You've already seen this.
Of what Patsuka's been able to do over through the inside. Now he finds himself again a little bit trapped in gate kept, as this is all about what can you find from here trying to rotate through. Breadman still very worried about Brolic up top, and rightfully so after the threat had already been established.
It's a problem for him looking to rotate on off there, right? Whoever makes that first jump is likely going to be shot by the other. You've got to assume that Brolic landed on top of the
Stuo died. Wow. How did that even happen?
Does Brad have
what the fuck?
To counter that play himself? Elo actually finds Stuo.
Brolic killed Breadman.
Well, Bread gets pushed. Brolic deals with him. Bread's out of here.
That is perfect timing, because you're dealing with now circle number 4.
How did he die?
Together. And Brolic has now owned some high ground, as he's going to have to parachute in towards the safer circle. And the wipes continue on coming. Again, 3 more is what we need before we get into that next multiplier. And then we're dealing with just looking for the top 5 as we head back over.
Vision has 14. God damn.
Yeah, the call at this point is at least get top 15. But ideally, brother, let's find a way to get top 5.
Yeah, 100%. You get yourself that top 5, you get yourself that 1.7. I mean, you are starting to put yourself in the higher numbers of individual games that we've seen throughout this entire tournament. You know, the kind of numbers we're talking about. Z-Smith off of drop 1, but there's a lot of company here in Showers. A couple of players to just pay attention to, and the problem is with this whole prison region, there's so many entryways, so many exits, there's a lot to keep track of.
Indeed the case, he's just trying to find himself a little bit of a corner. Smoke still 2 to play with, but finds himself now right into a cell. And this is exactly what it is. I mean, this is a confirmation that Vision is just sitting here saying, just don't, where's Waldo? Just don't find me. It's a game of hide and seek.
Why didn't you go play in this tournament? Just didn't get an invite, bro. Honestly. There was no qualifier for it. It was kind of based. The invites last year the invites for this were based on last year's World Series. So
just shuts him down and remove him from the board.
What can you do?
earlier was getting off to a solid start. But
Sage won the championship last year and didn't get invited.
Well,
I mean,
you can see here, this is
he
where
did
we
go,
start to
but
get that view from the wonderful
he didn't get his
contrast that we have
captain
available
spot.
of all the players trying to set up for end-game positions.
And this is the thing, is this circle is pulled extremely south and west of where we were from before. So this is all about, again, try to own this high ground, which Oki is really committing a lot to. A little bit of a dash right on forward. Oki doesn't like the look of it through the smoke, so backs off, seeing if maybe he can kind of surprise from the low ground. But any Star Wars fan will know you don't want to fight from the low ground, especially off of a reset, which it looks like we're starting to get.
Oh, he's dead.
We'll have to forfeit the position.
Honestly, this looks a little bit nervy from Oki. He's an individual player with a lot of gun skill, a lot of ability to take on these 1v1 fights, but wasn't quite sure about how to play that one. I think it's the aggression from Tenix that surprises him a little bit. The fact that he was willing to jump out of the tower towards him, fight over this positioning. You can see H-Mood in particular having the building here center off the next zone, and Tenix is going to contest him for it.
Yeah, and they may hear each other here. They're both pretty privy to take this gunfight.
Vision has 14.
Things as well that we saw earlier. Patsuka having a great map in a good position to continue.
Damn, this guy Vision is
now
fucking
makes himself
balling.
active, forced to because of the zone. He's won prison out
He's
completely.
got, he got 15.
Right in front of
God
him.
damn.
Most notably, just the players that are kind of holding into the central buildings, which he even sees Almond at range. Vision's on a burner.
That was a bad row. That was a bad row. He should have definitely went grandmas. I don't know why he tried to row across like that. Definitely should have went grandmas.
That top 15 multiplier at least. Hamoud then tucked inside. Oki has managed to pick his roof back up and after being pushed away by Tenix and spot Stable J underneath, lights up a couple of bullets.
Nade him, yeah. The fuck?
The gas goes out and it is connecting. Will force Stable J out of the cover. A great play from Oki, but he's got more company here.
Oh my God, who got slammed?
And those are the kind of things that Oki can deliver.
And now he's got the high ground. You've got Tenix still trying to work around the backside of this smoke. The rotating zone will get him into the back corner of it. Dongi also putting together a solid game on 9 kills. Is it a good spot?
No, who got
where the next rotations
slammed?
are coming from, but will he know that Tenix is right around the corner?
You feel like everyone just holds their breath.
1v.
Blinks first. Well, Oki is going to try and ask a couple of questions from the high ground here, looking out over the top. He's got Dongi off to his left. Tenix down to his right.
Nobody's peeking.
This is legitimately the definition of Mexican standoff. Where
Oki
does
has
the
to move
zone go?
first.
Tenix is going to be the first one to move. Oki right over the top, depending on what his timing is, could set up to actually watch this rotation. Donkey
got him.
not going to be the first one to shoot. Wants to be the third party here, but Oki gets the damage in and finishes off Tenix really cleanly. So now we've got a delayed 1v1.
Oki wins
the one
this.
that has to
Oki
make the
wins
move,
this,
but
yeah.
Dongi
Wow,
gets
fucking
obliterated.
beamed
I mean,
him.
are we kidding?
Fucking
what a little head
beamed
glitch
him.
on top of the rocks. And Oki finishes off the last couple of kills to take the dub.
I mean, I'm just going to go back to that play he made on the rooftop, right, against Hamoud. The fact that he gets pushed in that second fight, you could easily see the end of your
Wow, that
reign
MCW
there.
just
He spins,
melted.
snaps,
Holy
delivers
shit.
in a huge 1v1 and sees it out with some fantastic endgame positioning. Just having that little heady
God
over the top there
damn.
gives him all the angles he needs. And as you said, you made your Star Wars reference there, my friend. You want the high ground.
Goodness gracious. That is great news for Team Abwiz, which, again, we weren't really sure what to expect from this squad because Abwiz got, you know, in some words, kind of gifted a little bit of a captain spot. But, you know, hey, you find yourself fortunate to have the opportunity, and he puts together an incredible team. They were sitting in 4th overall before